When Itchy Break was created, the whole premise was to make sure people understood to take a break from themselves. We all need those reminders to laugh, to love, to have fun, and be a little silly. Just be in the moment and take a break. That's our mission. Just take a break and reset yourself. So welcome to It's Your Break.
Welcome to It's Your Break. Hi, I'm Jonathan Mertz. And coming up, we're going to show you what we do to land our interviews here on It's Your Break. Hey, you. Are you following us? Oh, don't worry. You should be. You should be following us everywhere. On our socials, like Instagram, Threads, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, all at It's Your Break. And you should be consuming us on your favorite podcast app, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Audible, and iHeartRadio. So, it's okay. We want you to follow us. And remember to like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, leave us a comment or two, and maybe even a review. Hi, I'm Jonathan Mertz, and welcome back to It's Your Break. Now, whether you've been doing a podcast for a long time or you're just getting started, oftentimes interviews are a critical piece of your podcast. For us, it's a crucial part of our podcast. When I first started It's Your Break, interviews were a struggle. However, that was a different story when I was in radio. Landing celebrity interviews was fairly easy for terrestrial radio because you could give out the metrics, you could say how much area your station covered, and the demographic. That's a no-brainer for publicists and celebrities alike. For podcast, it's a little bit different. Depending on how your podcast is structured, you may have your KPI or may not have your KPI, or you could be in a situation where you don't have any data at all. This is problematic and can be a struggle to land those bigger interviews, because publicists and celebrities want to see a certain threshold of numbers from those analytics. This doesn't mean you can't land who you're after, but it does make it a lot harder. And we're not going to focus on how to obtain celebrity interviews. What we are going to talk about is how to land consistent interviews on various topics that you may cover. There are several methods that we employed over the years to gain interviews. One has been to do a simple Google search or internet query to find specific contacts, publicists, or experts. Another way is to go on social media and try to reach those contacts by sending them DMs or creating engaging posts that they may engage with. Both of these methods are really hit or miss, and even using a source like LinkedIn can be troublesome. LinkedIn has a lot of professionals you can contact within specific areas, but you get stonewalled because of its limitation and paywalls. If you don't pay, you can't reach out as much as you want to, because the free version is very limited. However, there's almost a foolproof method to landing consistent interviews. And for us here at It's Your Break, it's always been the use of an interview service like radioguestlist.com, which is a completely free service. And it's kind of almost unheard of for what they provide. Now, they're not paying or sponsoring this podcast by any means. I'm solely stating that we use this service consistently to land our interviews. And like I said earlier, we have obtained interviews over and over again by employing this service. However, we don't want to downplay the benefits of networking, especially within your own community and your own profession. A lot of those networking contacts can help you land the interviews you want. They have for us. And if you're looking to focus on local interviews, become a member of your local Chamber of Commerce. A ton of possibilities will open up just for you in your own community. That's a little side tip I will give you, especially if you're looking to highlight your own community on your podcast. Now, I'm going to walk you through the Radio Guest List's website and show you exactly what it takes to land an interview. In addition, I'm also going to show you how I set up my email to sort interview requests that come in and to automatically respond to potential guests. First things first, let's hop on over to radioguestlist.com and take a look at their site. All right, so if you look at their site, it's geared to both people looking to be a guest and those who are looking for guests to interview. And as you scroll on their page here, you'll see an area that if you're an expert and you would like to be interviewed by a radio station, podcast, whatever, go here. If you're a podcast show or a radio show and you're seeking a guest, you go to this link, which is where we're going to go. So let's do that now. And as we get on this page, you can actually see that they give you some basic information and instructions that say fill out the submission form that's following below. The form is super simple, and it has red asterisks to indicate what is required. This form goes over stuff on how did you find out about our service? What is your headline? What's your show name? Your description of your show? Who are the hosts? And who do they contact to be booked? And as you scroll down, you'll eventually get to the demographic box. And some people get a little nervous about this box. They want to know your audience size and your demographic for your show. The first time I used this form, this area threw me off. Because I'm like, I'm not going to get any interviews because I don't have metrics or my audience size is way too small. Let me tell you right now, I have never had an issue landing consistent interviews from this service from the very beginning to now. And if you don't have metrics, just say, we don't have the metrics right now. And if you're in the process of getting them, just say, hey, we're in the process of getting them, but we don't have them right now. And still landed interviews every single time. Once you completed the form along with all the required fields, then just submit it. If there's an error, the site will let you know that there's an error and you can make the corrections and then submit after that. After a successful submission, you'll automatically get a reply from them saying, hey, we got your inquiry and we're going to review it. It usually takes them about a week to 2 weeks to get your submission posted. And they only post typically on Mondays and Wednesdays. And if they're hammered with a lot of submissions, sometimes they'll do a Friday release. Now, if we navigate back to their website and we go back to their homepage, you can see there's a link right here at the top of the page. It says New Guest Request. Click that, and you'll see the current submissions posted by others. Well, look at here. At the very top, it's our submission from the 24th of this month. If you click it, you'll see everything that we submitted. It shows your contact information, your show description, everything the experts need to see. And here's a little tip as well. If you're lost for ideas, see what others are submitting. You can build off their ideas. You can repurpose their ideas and put your own spin on it. Once Radio Guest List lists your submission, it's almost immediate that you'll start receiving emails from reps and guests requesting to be on your show. And to prove it, let's move over to my email. And as you see here on my email, there are several interview requests that came in, and I have filters that automatically sort these as they come in to my Gmail. In addition to labeling it, it also sends an automatic reply to each rep or guest, letting them know, hey, I've received their submission, and here's the next steps. So right now, let me show you how I set up my filters and auto-replies so that maybe you can use them if you use the Gmail service. I'm sure there's other email services that may do something similar, but since I use Gmail, that's what I'm going to focus on. Inside of my Gmail, I'm going to go over to the settings page. But before we set up a filter, I need to enable some advanced features. So let's move over to the advanced hyperlink. Once inside the screen, let's enable templates and click save. Now these templates are going to allow you to craft an auto response message that'll be used with your filter. However, before we create our filter, we need to create our auto response message. To do that, we're simply going to compose a new message. So let's click compose. From here, just create the message like you normally would, starting with your subject line, and then move on to the body. All right, the message I created is not that compelling, but it's to show you just some sample data on how to do this process. It's not to actually craft the message itself. You can also feel free to add a signature, and if you have an automatic signature, it will show up here. But if you need to change it, this is where you can do it, because it will save this and add it to it. It won't add your automatic signature. It'll use what you save here. Now, to save the template, go over here to the 3 dots area. From there, select templates, then go to save draft as template, and then simply save as new template. Now, here's a pop-up box that comes in, and you can rename it, but it automatically uses your subject line. So it's a good practice to go ahead and make your subject line whatever the template is for, but you can still rename it here. Once done, click save. Now that you have your template saved, we can now go back to the filters and finish out what we were going to accomplish. All right, so let's go back to our settings section and click filters and blocked addresses. All right, scroll down until you see create a new filter and click it. From here, we need to specify the to address, because we want everything coming to this to address to be filtered. Now, if you use aliases like I do, you may want to use one of those, because I have a specific email address just for these interview requests. Another thing to do is you might want to add the don't include section. In this area, it's email addresses I want to make sure are excluded from being filtered, like radioguestlist.com. They will auto-respond back to the contact email address I put in there, which is the booking email address. So in my case, it's interviewrequest@itchourbreak.com. So I don't want them getting an auto-response message back from me. And you can add others as well here for any other service that may do the same thing. Now, once you have that filled out, click Create Filter. On this next pop-up, there's a lot of options like skip the inbox, mark as read, start, apply a label. And inside the apply a label area is where you specify your labels. You can also create labels on the fly from this option, so there's no need to do it beforehand. So don't freak out on that. And some of the other options are never send it to spam, send template, which we are going to do for an auto reply, and always mark as important. And lastly, you can apply to things that already exist in your inbox and apply it right away by clicking the apply filter option. Now here's a quick example of what the filter looks like for my interview request. You can see the to addresses as well as the don't include options. And on the next part of this filter, you can see everything that I've done, from the label that's being set to the autoresponder that I've set up. Now, let's see this filter in action by seeing an auto-response reply to an interview request. All right, so in this first one, you can see the pitch made by this person. And if I scroll down, you can see the auto-reply that the system sent out on my behalf. It includes a thank you section, or current selection process, a timeline and communication process, submission guidance, and some additional support contact options. Because I have this autoresponder set up and I set a timeline in there, it gives me enough time to vet each of these inquiries and allow me to really dive in and see if they're right for my show. If they're not, no big deal. But I also have the option to forward those requests to other podcasters that I network with. That pitch may be a really good idea for their show. Like I said before, don't downplay networking, because they could send you pitches to you as well. Well, that's our interview request process and how we land consistent interviews, as well as setting up an autoresponder to be able to give us time to vet these requests. Next is the hard part, which is setting up a date and conducting the interview. But that's a topic for another time. Until next time, I'm Jonathan Mertz with It's Your Break, and remember to take a break.
This episode of It's Your Break was not a paid advertisement. It's Your Break is a news and entertainment podcast. The thoughts and comments of the host or guest are those of the individual speaking, and not necessarily that of It's Your Break or Spark a Vision. Follow It's Your Break on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and YouTube at It's Your Break. Subscribe and follow on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Audible, and iHeart. This podcast is owned, produced, and distributed by Spark a Vision and is hosted by Jonathan Mertz. Copyright It's Your Break and Spark a Vision. All rights reserved.